Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hope and Renewal, where faith meets real life and hard truths are held with compassion. I'm your host, Antonio Banks. Today we're diving into something that we are familiar with, we've all been guilty of. So I say, please get comfortable, please open your heart, and let's talk. I know we've all been this kid, we've all been that kid, and some of us as parents now are raising kids who only hears what they want to hear and see what they want to see. Let's be honest, most of us never grew out of it. We just got better at justifying it. See, I remember it like yesterday as a kid. My mom would yell, "Come and take a bath." I hated baths. Don't ask me why, I couldn't even tell you. Maybe it was the water. Perhaps it was the interruption. Whatever the reason was, I did everything I could to delay getting that tub. Now, I hurt her. Trust me, I hurt her. But what did I do? I acted like I didn't. And when she asked, "Did you hear me?" I respond with, "No, ma'am," like I was innocent. But let her call something I like. You better believe I was already halfway to the door before she finished her sentence. Funny how we do that, right? But the thing is, the same selective listening, that same tendency to filter what we hear based on what we want, it follows us into adulthood. We dress it up in more sophisticated language. I often wonder why God called me to write nonfiction books. I've asked myself this question for many, many years now. You see, nonfiction, especially the books that I write, they're inspirational. Nonfiction isn't always what people are eager to read. It challenges us, it makes us reflect, and some people don't want that. I've even had readers and writers tell me I prefer fiction because it helps me escape reality and not wrestle with it. I get it. Sometimes facing the truth hurts, but here's what I've learned: growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. A transformation rarely comes wrapped in convenience. See, today our culture, primarily through media, social media, has become very good at feeding us exactly what we want. Tailored headlines, curated foods, and echo chambers full of people who think, look, and speak just like us. What happens then? We stop hearing anything that challenges us. We stop seeing the whole truth in the picture. We actually become that kid, ignoring mom's voice or dad's voice because it wasn't what we wanted to hear. We even do it at work. Let our boss tell us to do something that we don't want to do. We become selective hearers. Yeah, a story in the Bible, Kings 22, illustrates this better than I ever could. So don't be mad at me. See, King Ahab wanted to go to war. He gathered 400 prophets to do so with him. They actually told him exactly what he wanted to hear. They said, "Go, you'll be victorious." But this one prophet, like we got that one person, one friend, one family member, one coworker, they tell us the truth. They ain't afraid to tell us the truth. And when he did, Ahab did exactly what we do. He didn't want to hear it. Why? Because Micaiah's message didn't fit Ahab's narrative? See, Ahab knew Micaiah spoke the truth. But even though in verse 16, Ahab says, "How many times must I make you swear to tell me nothing but the truth in the name of the Lord?" And still he dismissed it, just like we do. He ignored it because it made him uncomfortable. Well, you know how many people are uncomfortable? He rejected it because it clashes with his desires. Sound familiar? How often do we do that? We avoid truth, it confronts us. We silence voices that challenges us. We label corrections as judgment and turn away from conviction in the name of peace. But let me say this plainly and honest. There is no peace in pleasing lies. There is no healing in hiding from the truth. See, Ahab didn't want God's will. He wanted God's stamp of approval on his own will. He didn't seek the Lord. He sought validation. When he married Jezebel, he didn't see her spiritual danger. He only saw her beauty and power. See, instead of tearing down idols, he built them higher. He traded truth for convenience, God's voice for flattery, and it cost him everything. See, when we only hear what we want to hear and see what we want to see, we lose sight of God's direction for our lives. The thing is, God doesn't shout, he whispers. And if our hearts are full of noise, of assumption, fear, and pride, we'll miss him. In Matthew 13:15, Jesus says, "Seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand, for this people's heart has grown dull. And with their ears they can barely hear, their eyes have closed." If we're going to be people of hope and renewal, we must see with compassion and hear with humility. That means listening to the pain behind the silence. That means seeing the possibility behind someone's past. That means recognizing God at work in places we least expect him. Sometimes redemption comes in whispers, and if we're too busy tuning into the world, we'll miss the song heaven is singing. See, my favorite pastor, C.S. Lewis, once said, "What you see and hear depends greatly on where you are standing and what sort of person you are." That hits deep, don't it? So I ask you, where are you standing today? And what kind of person are you becoming? I close with this. So here's my challenge today for you. Ask yourself, what am I refusing to hear? What truth have I been ignoring because it's uncomfortable? What beauty or breakthrough have I been blind to because it didn't fit my expectation? So I want to pray. Let's pray for clear eyes and open ears. Let's pray for the courage to receive truth, even when it stings. And let's be willing to hear what we want, but what we need to hear. Because that, my friends, is where healing begins. Again, thank you for joining me today on another episode of Hope and Renewal. Again, I'm your host, Antonio Banks. And if this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who needs that little reminder that though it may hurt, it always leads us home. Until next time, keep the faith, lean into grace, and never stop listening for God's whisper.